I love you. Welcome back to the couch, potatoes. I am the green traveler from Goosh.
And from whatever region you are aiming for. And I'm
old, Shunny.
Old. Your name is Old Sonny? It's nice to meet you.
Oh, I don't like you youngsters. You and your stupid dad jokes.
Well, you know, everybody was tired of your ancient ancestor jokes, so we moved on. I am the Faceless Leon. This is Green and Faceless on the Couch, and it's a podcast about movies and TV. And we've been talking about Batman a lot.
Yeah, we in the Batman playlist still, and we're inviting his good friend Mr. Freeze yet again for another week.
His best friend. This is Batman and Robin again, Subzero.
I mean, honestly, it in regards to like screen time, it should be Robin and Mr. Freeze, Subzero. Yeah, because like Robin and Batgirl are a little more important than Batman is in this one. Batman kind of takes a back seat until the third act.
Yeah, you know, you're gonna have to correct me / answer this question. Are Robin and Barb ever romantically entangled as they are in this film?
Quite often. I don't want to... I could be entirely wrong about this, but I believe this was the first time when they are actually romantically involved. I don't remember if prior to this they had a relationship or not. They might have, you know, it's 1998 is when this came out, 1 year after Batman and Robin. It was supposed to come out the same year as Batman and Robin. It was supposed to come out as a tie-in. Oh. But that movie sucked so bad that they were like, we should probably scrap that project. People did not like that film. And so, they scrapped it for a year to give it some space. Breathing room. Some time. Yeah, some breathing room, indeed. And then they went forth with this. And this is more of a direct sequel to the animated show's episode of Mr. Freeze, as opposed to the being in the same universe as the Joel Schumacher film.
Right, yes. It definitely feels like it's in the same universe as the animated series.
Yeah.
Except for I don't remember Barb and Dick being into each other. I don't remember that. Except for this.
Yeah, I don't remember either. And it's very weird, too, because, like, the first time in this movie that you get the hint that Dick is interested in Barbara is because Jim Gordon is just like, there's a lot of men looking after my young lady. Ha ha ha. You gotta step up, Dick. You know, there's a long line, but you're at the front, pal. Right. And then Barbara shows up and he's just like, hey, what the fuck are you doing, kid? Get away from my dog. It's so weird.
Jim is kind of weird in this movie.
Yeah, he is a little weird, and he's voiced by Bob Hastings here. I believe Bob Hastings was the animated show's Jim Gordon too. I could be wrong.
They use the same animation style, so.
And you got Kevin Conroy back as Bruce. You got Michael Ansara coming back from the animated series episode as Victor Freeze, Mr. Freeze. I don't know about Lauren Lester as Dick Grayson. I don't know if he was the animated show's Nightwing or Robin, I mean. But this is a new Barbara Gordon. This is a new Batgirl voice. Because, fun fact, this might surprise my mom if she's listening. Batgirl in the animated show was originally voiced by Melissa Gilbert. Laura on Little House on the Prairie. And I don't think I've ever told my mom that, and I don't know why, because she loves Little House on the Prairie, so that would have been an easy way to be like, you want to watch Batman the animated series with me? It's got Lori Ingalls.
Yeah, and then they have to wait for 3 seasons or whatever until Batgirl shows up.
Right.
I have no idea how long that show is, but as a kid, it seemed like forever.
Yeah, I think they only did 2 seasons, but very, very long seasons.
Yeah, because every TV show is at least 24 episodes long a season.
Well, I think the Batman the Animated Series, like, here, I can pull it up real quick, but I think they had 2 seasons that were both, like, 60 episodes long.
Jesus.
Okay, no, not 60 episodes, that's an overshoot. 2 seasons, 85 episodes, so about 40 episodes each.
Okay, that's still quite a lot.
Oh, actually, once I scrolled down further, season 1 had 65 episodes, season 2 had 20.
Oh, jeez.
Why'd they cut that one so short? That's sad.
Maybe the animators were like, hey, we cannot keep up this schedule.
Right, it's too grueling, damn it. And then it was replaced, and this is kind of the turning point for the animated series, because I think after Subzero, it became the new Batman, the new Batman Adventures, something like that. Like, it was a new show, and they stopped doing cell animation after this film. This film, I couldn't find anywhere online, but it didn't feel like it was all cell animation. It felt like there was some CGI.
Oh, there was definitely
computer
some
effects.
CGI.
Yeah,
definitely. But
yeah.
I do like the way it was blended in. It was very well done for this period for a mix.
I thought that's fair for this period. Yes, I feel like it's a little dated because when those moments happened, I felt a little nauseous because they looked kind of.
Right. There's a little bit of uncanny valley with it. Yeah. That's the problem.
But it's just weird because I was trying to look up the animation style to see if, how much was cell, how much was CGI, and I couldn't find anything. The only thing I could find was that it was mostly cell, and that it was the last one of the animated, I think in the Batman animated universe, that's cell animation. So that's kind of a sad little factoid, because I love cell animation.
I don't know. I know for certain anything that had a character in it was cell animation. But
right.
There were definitely vehicles that it was either computer assisted or something. I don't know. It reminded me of Transformers when we were growing up.
Yeah, a little bit. I didn't watch that show as much, but I definitely has a bit of that feel.
That polygon feel.
Yeah, there's a lot of polygons in there. I think I forgot to mention Barbara Gordon. Melissa Gilbert was replaced in this by Mary Kay Bergman. And those are the 4 main voice actors that we've, mentioned here. So I guess to synopsize real quick, Batman and Mr. Freeze Subzero. If you don't know the Mr. Freeze story, if you didn't watch the Batman and Robin episode of ours, his wife has a deadly condition, deadly disease or whatever, and in the process of trying to save her, Victor Freeze practically froze his whole body and became Mr. Freeze.
Something like that.
Yeah, he's got to wear a containment suit so that he doesn't unthaw and die himself, and he's hell-bent on saving his wife. Hell-bent. And hell is a place of ice in his world. But he's living somewhere cold with a couple of polar bears as friends. And, he's got his wife in a cave.
Did we get the names of these polar bears?
Oh, that's interesting.
If they named the polar bears.
There was one named Shaka. There was one that he called Shaka.
Shaka and Garaka. That's made up. And hopefully...
Oh, I thought you had found... Shaka and Garaka.
I did want to mention that he's not just there with his wife while you're taking the time to look that up. He's also there with his friend named... Why aren't they on the cast list on Wikipedia?
Huh.
Well, he's living with an Inuit boy.
Was it Mariko?
No. That was... the scientist that helped Batman figure out that it's Freeze by pure coincidence. It is the most coincidental thing in the movie.
Ooh, Inuit's son Kunak.
Kunak, thank you. Why is he not on the...
Yeah, they didn't list his voice actor. That's sad.
List.
Yeah,
I wonder if it's on IMDb.
Maybe. I did find the other polar bear's name was Notchka. Notchka and Shaka.
Notchka and Shaka.
Yeah. And and Mr. Freeze is living up there when a couple of dickheads raise their submarine up into his cave unknowingly.
Yeah, that was real shitty.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's like, it's shitty, but at the same time, it's like, they didn't know anybody was there.
Oh, I thought they talked about Freeze for some reason, but I wasn't paying super much attention to those military peoples.
I was I was also making a peanut butter and jelly during that scene, so it's like, it's possible that they're like, Freeze is there, let's fuck his world up. But like, to my knowledge, when I sat down and was watching it, it just kind of seemed like they rose up, 4 of them left and like walked off to do something, and then when they came back to find the whole crew was frozen. And they're like, what the hell? The whole crew's frozen over. And then Mr. Freeze comes in and he's just like, not all of them. And then he freezes them. And I was like, oh, shit. And the reason he's pissed is because when they rose up through into his cave, they destroyed Nora's containment unit, thus unleashing the deadly disease that he had frozen within her to keep her alive. So, you know, she's running out of time. She's got like maybe 2-3 weeks left to live. And Freeze is like, I gotta, you know, he's like, the only thing to save her now is an organ transplant. He's got to take an organ from somebody, and he knows that back in Gotham, I think in the animated series or something, I can't remember where this guy comes from, but he knows that there's this man, a broker, or an old colleague, not a broker, sorry. Yes,
that's what it is. He I think went to med school with this guy.
Yeah, Dr. Gregory Belson, voiced by George Dzundza. There's a lot of D's and Z's in his name.
Dzundza. Dzundza. Yeah. I'm sorry, guy. I'm sure that's wrong.
No, it's got to be it's the only way it could be pronounced. The only possible way. But yeah, Gregory Belson, he's in a lot of shit right now. He placed a lot of his money in an insider trading tip on a certain medicine that's up and coming, and it's completely fucked over his world because the FDA turned around and was like, there's some weird side effects to that disease. We're gonna to that drug. We're gonna halt that production immediately, thus making him Gregory Belson in debt to a lot of people. And in debt by a huge margin. And so when Freeze approaches him and it was just like, hey man, we got to do an organ transplant my wife to save her life, Gregory Belson's like, well, that list is a mile long. You won't be able to do that. And it's just like, well, not unless we kidnap somebody and, you know, take their fucking organ. And he's just like, you talking about killing people? It's going to cost about $2 million.
Because he's a gambler.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's how he gets Gregory Belson on his side.
Oh, he's not just a gambler. It's more of a stock market thing. He had a insider tip.
Yeah, that's what I said.
And it went wrong.
I said all of that.
Okay. Sorry, okay. I was looking up how to say his name. Zunza. You don't pronounce like the D's really. Zunza.
Yeah. It's Dzunza. Sorry, George. I'm kidding. No, but that's the story. Is they need to get an organ transplant to save his daughter or to save his wife's life, and lo and behold, the only individual, well, not the only individual, but one of the perfect matches in regards to height and weight and gender is the lovely Barbara Gordon. And so Mr. Freeze sets out on a plot to kidnap Barbara Gordon, and Batman and Robin have to do some sleuthing to save her. And that's the synopsis.
Right. He also does this with no knowledge that it's Batgirl. So he is they definitely underestimate Barbara because they have no idea that she's a superhero.
Right. Is this Mr. Freeze who was confused? Because I was confused as to who all knew her identity, because I didn't know if Batman and Robin even knew who she was, that she was Batgirl, because they don't really talk about it at all. She's never in her costume around them.
Well, I felt that it was a sequel to the animated series, and I'm pretty sure they know in the animated series. I'm pretty sure Batman trains both of them in the series. Yeah, that's what I was going off of. I thought they all knew who each other were.
It's very much that could be the case. I haven't seen the animated series in about a decade, so like, I couldn't remember if they knew it all.
I could be pulling it out of my ass.
Well, I mean, it's only the only reason I was confused as to whether or not they knew is because Batman and Robin and Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson, respectively, never bring up the fact that they know that she is Batgirl. And the only time that they are all working together is in that third act where she is just only Barbara Gordon. And they never want, like, they always trust her with everything that, needs to happen in regards to, like, action or something like that. But it just, they never kind of acknowledge their relationship. So that's why I left it just like, I don't even know if Bruce and Dick knew who she was. I would assume they did, but...
There is a moment, if I recall, where she very knowingly talks to Dick in his Robin costume.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like she may even have called him Dick.
Gotcha. That might be the case. I do remember he had a silly, goofy grin when he came and saw that she was still alive. That was a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
I honestly, coming from the comic books, there's a lot of people who have differing opinions on who Dick Grayson should be with romantically. I am 100% on the Dick Grayson Barbara Gordon team. I'm sorry to all those who think he should be with Starfire, to those who are still pushing for the Wally West combo, even though I don't think that'll ever happen. I would love it. I would love that to happen too, but I don't think that, because those are my two favorite characters. So if they were to team up romantically, I'm all for that. But I love his relationship with Barbara. I think there's a lot of good qualities there in the comics and in this movie. I think they do a good job at showing that both of them respect each other's strengths, and they work really well together, and it's really nice. Even though they don't get to do that much in this movie, it still is enjoyable when that happens. I always
felt like, this is me being a total novice to the DC world, right? I always felt like Nightwing maybe had several relationships through the history of the comics.
Yeah,
because he's a sexy man.
He is a very sexy man. He is, Yes, he is a very sexy man indeed. That's all I'll put it out there. There's a reason I love Nightwing, and one of them is because of them abs, man. But, he's had a lot of relationships. The two big ones that I can pull off the top of my head are Starfire and Barbara Gordon. Yeah, because Starfire was that her name? Star Sapphire, maybe? Maybe it's Star Sapphire. Who's the Teen Titans? Is it the Teen Titans is Starfire, right?
I thought it was Starfire.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna bloop it.
Yeah, I just started having doubts. Right here. Started having doubts because I was like, oh shit, maybe I'm saying the name wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Starfire.
Ooh, I was about to lose my nerd credits.
Princess Coriander, but not spelt like coriander, like the spice.
Yes.
It's spelled with K's and an apostrophe before the last R.
But I do believe it's still pronounced the same. Or at least I've always pronounced it that way.
I think I wouldn't know how else to say that.
Right.
Coriander.
But no. In regards to this movie, I do enjoy the relationship. I enjoy the only thing that's weird kind of is the Jim Gordon's attitude around it, because it's like when she's not there, he's all gung-ho about Dick Grayson, and then when she is there, he's just like, now watch yourself, kid. Like,
might just be a joke.
Yeah, he's just being the dad.
Might just be a joke. But when Barbara is kidnapped, Jim is a little off the handle. We're, obviously he probably should be, but I don't know. Like, his character just seemed a little weird in this one. It kind of, actually, the way that he kind of flew off the handle a little bit reminded me of the Chris Nolan, Gary Oldman version a little bit, because when things like really got bad with like the Joker, man, that man was unhinged.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the history of him in the comics, with Jim and the Joker, you got the Killing Joke where he literally paralyzes his daughter from the waist down.
This is true.
I know that doesn't happen in either of the franchises, the Chris Nolan franchise or the Batman animated franchise, but like, that history's still there in the books.
For 1 second, I almost argued with you, but then I remembered, oh yeah, I was playing Arkham Knight last night.
But Jim is a little weird in this, but like, I get it when his daughter gets kidnapped. I get the the sternness that he's had because he's terrified. He's like, but he's still trying to be the commissioners, trying to be the policeman. And Dick tried really hard to save Barbara when she was kidnapped. I love that scene. He goes on a big chase. He gives a guy his Corvette so he could steal his moped.
Yep.
And then out of nowhere, when Dick Grayson skids off the road and should just fall over the cliff, there's a random tree that is somehow growing on a very narrow spot of the cliffside that is constantly disappearing from all the wide shots. It's not there at all in any of the wide shots, but it's there when he needed it, and that's all that mattered.
I definitely did not see that.
I remember when they showed the wide shot of like the curving road, and there's nothing on the side of it at all. And then he goes off the side, he just like, there's a tree there, and he just catches the tree, and I'm like, where the fuck that tree come from? And then they show when he gets back to the road, he like looks around and there's no fucking tree behind him at all. I'm like, he's fucking Robin. Figure something continuity out. Just have him go out and he's just like,
maybe he just skidded to a stop in the original like cut of the animation, and people were like, that's not very climactic.
Yeah, that's not bold.
Let's have him drive off the cliff.
What's that? Yeah. But here's the thing, is if you have him drive off the cliff, instead of just having a random tree appear, he's fucking Robin. Just have him pull a damn grappling gun out of his ass. Like, I'm sure he still has something on him, and just like,
Yeah, like, I don't think they go in public super naked. Yeah. They're too much Boy Scouts for that.
Right? They gotta have like some kind of hidden battering and stuff like that, just in case they're ever attacked.
Yeah, always attacked. I mean, we get, what? We had 85 days of whatever they have in the animated series. And if we're to believe that there's more than these events, because they deal with small-time crime too,
right?
These guys are busy.
They are busy, man. And they don't have time for relationships either, as Bruce Wayne proves at the beginning when he just completely shuns his date.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm busy tonight, but I'll call you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you said the last time, Bruce.
Oh, man. So, man, I do want to talk about another thing about the animation, which I think we got to blame the original comics on this.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce and Dick look too much alike.
Oh, yeah. And honestly, so does the body type of Jim. Jim has the same, like, body type as both of them.
Right. Yeah. If he didn't have completely different colored hair and a mustache and glasses.
Yeah.
Like all the other features. Like, the only thing that's different between them is obviously Bruce is a little bit bigger, and his nose has more angles, and he's got just a couple more lines.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody has ites of whites. Nobody has whites in their eyes besides the women. Only the women do. Even when they have different eye color, like the Dr. Gregory, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
His eyes were blue, but he still didn't have any whites of his eyes. It was just irises and pimples. Jesus Christ, what are words? Irises and pupils. While Dick and Bruce both have dark eyes, so they just have these black dots.
Right.
And their hairdos are too similar. Anyways, at some point in the beginning, at that party or whatever they're at, Bruce leaves, and all of a sudden, he comes back in, and my wife was like, oh, wait a minute. I really thought that was Batman the whole time.
Right.
And I was wondering, why is he hitting on Barbara? That seems so weird.
I will say, because I just did a real quick research of it. There is one very key identifying difference between them, and it's their chins. Bruce Wayne has a thick fucking chin, right, and Robin's got a little dimpy thing. So there is that's like true. the only identifying factor is their chin and their voices.
But it definitely, I recall as a kid being thrown by.
Yeah, they are like, way too similar.
When I watched this movie, or the animated series sometimes too, but it was a little bit easier in the animated series because I feel like they were in their costume more often.
Yeah, and I also another thing that's always bothered me about a lot of the DC animated and a lot of other animations too, not just in the DC world, but I can't stand the body builds of these people because it's just like, Bruce, Robin, Bruce, Dick, Jim Gordon, all the men basically have these like thick ass fucking shoulders, and then like, it comes down into kind of like an upside down, like a diamond kind of shape, to their legs. Right. And then all of the women are basically hourglasses. Like,
yep.
It's just, it's very cut and paste for their gender. And it's always bothered me because it's like, you see Bruce Wayne like that. And I'm just like, at first it's just like, well, how does nobody know that Batman's Bruce Wayne? I'll look at their body builds. But then you see that Harvey Bullock's the same, even though he's fat, he still has the exact same shoulder thing. Jim Gordon has the same thing. I'm just like, man, they're all too jacked in this world. Like,
yeah, it definitely. I mean, I'm sure it was because they had to put out 60 episodes in 1 year.
Right. Yeah, you just copy paste a framework and then draw through there.
Right. Well, are we ready for closing statements?
Yeah, I think we are. Personally, I had never seen this one before. This was a new animation for me, so that was always exciting. I love new animated films, but the plot does seem kind of thin. I mean, it's only an hour and like 10 minutes. It's a very short thing. But they've used this the Dr. Freeze, like his plot. Just this is like the third time I think in the movies at least, and including the animated series. I mean, but it's too thin. It's just like there's got to be more there. You can't just get by that he's just like always trying to save his wife. And then the one thing I like is how in the ending of this movie there is progress in that story. So maybe in future editions there's going to be more change. But the plot itself, it just doesn't, it doesn't wow me anymore. But at the same time, I still love the detective feel. There's a lot of good sleuthing going on in this movie. I love Barbara Gordon being a badass in and of herself. She might have been kidnapped, but she's fighting hard to escape, every second. Yeah,
I really liked those scenes, actually. That was one thing I wanted to talk about. Like, there's a particular scene where they take her to this room, and they chain. I don't know if this is before or after they chain her to something, but she starts jumping on the bed, and is really getting some height out of it, and like really trying just to reach this pipe above her. I thought it was to do some acrobatic shit and get out, but the pipe either broke or she wanted just the pipe to have a weapon. No, they came in right when she succeeded.
Yeah. She in that scene she got up into the duct vent. She used the pipe to pull herself up to the duct vent.
She did get out.
Yeah, she got out in that scene. Later on, I think either before or after that moment, they chain her to the bed. I think it's after the moment. But they chain her, and then she somehow gets the chain broken loose. Oh, he unlocks it. That's what he's leading her to the surgery. He unlocks her chain, and then she uses that as a weapon. I'm just like, God damn, Barbie, you're the best. Like, yeah, she's a fighter, and I love that. I loved seeing her, even though she got kidnapped. She's not a damsel in distress. She doesn't need Batman and Robin. She can almost get out by herself, and she pretty much does. She does receive help from others, but. It's great. They utilize Barbara really well, and Victor Freeze, Bruce Wayne, all those characters, they're all really well done. It's just the plot, the Freeze's motivation. It's just like they need to build on that more, because at this point I'm already just like, well, it's better than the Batman and Robin film. They definitely utilize the emotions of his predicament much better in this, but. It's fine. I give it 2.5 stars. I love the animation, even though some of that CGI stuff felt a little woofy, but it's still good. It's still a fine film.
Definitely tater tot safe.
Yeah.
And I would say I give it a face. It is a very watchable movie, very quick movie. No reason not to check it out, especially if you like Mr. Freeze. It is another chapter in that. But I do feel like you're right about the motivation. I feel like there needs to be another step, or maybe his actual discovery of what Nora needs. Like, give us that scene, because they skip that.
Mm-hmm.
They go from the interaction with the soldiers in the submarine to him kidnapping Barbara Gordon. That's the next time we see Mr. Freeze.
It's him. The next time actually is when he recruits Gregory Belson, the doctor, and then they kidnap.
Okay. That's
Barbara.
right.
Yeah, but
right.
they still don't.
Still.
Yeah, because he just like when he kidnaps Gregory Belson, he's just like, I need a transplant. It's just like, oh, that's quick. I thought she was crushed by rocks. Like,
right. Like, who knows what's wrong with her?
Yeah.
They don't even, like, mention what the disease is, I don't think. And maybe they don't in the animated series at all.
Yeah.
That maybe she's just sick with a rare disease. I don't know.
Right. I can't remember it.
But I think it's McGregor's disease or something in the other movie from last week.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Who knows? There's a lot of blasphemous things in that movie, unfortunately. So, what was I saying?
I don't know.
It wasn't about Barbara. We talked about that. Yeah, Mr. Freeze's motivation. I would say I would like it to have more time before he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to kill this person.
Right.
Because my wife needs this. I just feel like his character is a lot more empathetic than that. I don't know. Maybe that's not true. Especially if you look at the Arnold Schwarzenegger interpretation.
Right. His heart is frozen over. That wasn't Arnold at all, but it's whatever.
That was more Sean Connery.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Oh, man. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, that's what I have to say about this movie. It's not the best Batman thing out there, but it's definitely not the worst. It's very watchable.
Yeah.
I don't know that it would make the top half of the list or not, because we're not done yet.
Nope, there's still about 50 more to go, but we're not gonna watch all of them, people. We're gonna split it up. We're gonna go back to other playlists and everything, but we will still have more Batman for you in the next coming weeks. So stay tuned for that. That's always fun and exciting.
Hell yeah.
We also have very important coming up in about a week or so. I don't know when exactly we'll drop it, but we'll let you know when we get that finalized. But we're going to have a Patreon exclusive episode where we catch you up on the latest things we've seen, the latest movies I've seen in the theaters, the latest television shows the Faceless Leon has seen in the past month.
That's right. I've also watched a couple movies.
Oh, fabulous.
But they're not brand new movies.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, and if you want to be a part of that, if you want to listen to that exclusive episode, head on down to patreon.com/greenandfaceless. You do have to sign up for our $10 a month tier to be eligible.
That's right. And we would greatly appreciate your pledge to us for that.
Mm-hmm.
With that, there is a tier exclusive placard with our logo that we would send to you. And also you'd get to make suggestions and then vote upon the subject matter of the monthly Potato Pit, our patron-inspired episode.
Think of the power. Think of the power at your fingertips. If you even if you just do a $2,
that's right.
$2 bid a month, you get the vote on that power. You know, that's still power in and of itself.
That's right. That's still power. We're talking, $5 a month, guys, and you could suggest that we watch the Centipede movies.
Oh, God.
You could then vote upon that and get outvoted, hopefully by everybody else.
Hopefully.
But it is still power.
Yeah, you can make us watch the Leprechaun films. There's so many.
I would honestly be down for
I would too, but I want that to be a suggestion. That's got to come from the Patreons. That can't just be something we dive into.
I see.
Yeah, you got to work hard for us to watch some shitty films.
I feel like that is a playlist.
And if we have a Patreon suggest that playlist, I'm willing. I'm all down for it. But any of you just casual listeners, if you suggest bad films to torture us with, we'll laugh. We'll be like, that would be fun, wouldn't it? Because it would be fun. But we won't do it. Not unless we're paid for it.
He's drawing the line in the sand.
I'm drawing the line.
So I think we finished our show with that very threatening note. And we hope you enjoyed the show.
Indeed. I have been the Green Traveler from Gorsh.
And I am the Faceless Leon. Safe travels and good night. Green and Faceless on the Couch is a proud production of FictionWorks 19. Are you a fan of the show? Feel free to contact us at greenandfacelessfans@gmail.com or visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/greenandfaceless. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, or rate us on Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much for listening.